we are very fortunate that Maharaj is here with us to teach this beautiful section of Bhakti Shastri of Ishopanishad. So I'll just give a short introduction of Maharaj. So Maharaj is a very senior devotee and very senior disciple, sannyasi disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj studied at the University of Wales from 2004 to 2016 and earned an MA in 2010 and a PhD degree in the study of religion in June 2016. Maharaja Sannyasi since 2015, and he also graduated for studies in Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, and Maharaj has also done Bhakti Vedanta, so which is very rare. And Maharaj is teaching these courses, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, for so many years, and Maharaj is a very expert, uh, approach to teach these courses also. And Maharaj is the chairman of one of the very responsible ministry which in ISKCON, which is Sannyas Ministry, and Maharaj is the chairman of that committee, and Maharaj is an ISKCON Board of Examination, member of ISKCON Board of Examination also, and we have a Shastric Advisory Council in ISKCON. So those who are very learned in the Shastras, they are only there in that committee. So Maharaj is one of the member of that committee also, and Maharaj is regular teacher in ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya in Europe and North America also. So we are very fortunate that Maharaj is here with us to teach this section. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for coming and giving us your valuable time. So we are indebted to you for this. Thank you very much. So we'll chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, thank you. I'm so happy to be with you. That first, before starting to speak on Shiyas Upanishad, I will pray for the mercy of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis, and especially to Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, that Omajnana Timrandasya Jananjanasnaka Sakshuran Miritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachaya Desatarani. So, Shri Isopanishad is one of the 4 books we study in the Bhakti Shastri. That so this Shri Upanishad is very philosophical. That the Bhagavad Gita gives us the elementary information, the ABC, and is our main guideline. But how to bring this in practice, we have Nectar of Instruction, which is more practical, and even Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, is very practical. That's the manual for the devotees. But Shri Upanishad gives us knowledge. It's an Upanishad that spiritual knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita we learned in the purport 9.2, I think, of the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada says that, yes, religion without knowledge is sentimentalism, that or fanaticism. And philosophy without practice is dry speculation. But knowledge has a very important function because it supports our faith. That faith and knowledge go together. We have learned in the Nectar of Instruction, in the purport of verse 5, and we have learned in also in the Bhagavatam, 3 classes of devotee. The Prakriti Bhakta, this is the beginner. He has practically no faith, a very weak faith, and no knowledge. And that's a dangerous position. Where the Madhyamadikari has a strong faith and knowledge, but not perfect. And the Uttamadikari has perfect knowledge and fully surrendered. So knowledge is important. Now, this year's Upanishad, a few words about the history of the book. You will see we will discuss now first Shis Upanishad, the introduction. This introduction is a lecture that Srila Prabhupada gave in London. In the 60s, at the end of the 60s, he sent some disciples to London to start a center. 3 Grihastha couples. And during Srila Prabhupada's visit, he gave a lecture in Conwell Hall. This is a hall in the center of London, and the audience were mostly devotees, Gujaratis, most devotees who were living in London. So it was more or less an Indian audience. And he gave this talk about the teachings of the Vedas. And that lecture was transcribed and was put just as an introduction of this book. Interesting. And then the commentaries of these mantras. You know that Srila Prabhupada started in the 1940s already back to Godhead. And he wrote a series of articles on Sri Isopanishad, commenting on each of these mantras. Because this Upanishad is one of the rare Upanishads that addresses directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's personalism, this Upanishad. And by using its commentaries were as such that it was meant to defeat impersonalism in the hearts of the people. And he published his commentaries in different issues of Back to Godhead. These first issues in black and white, that they are all in the archives now. And these commentaries were taken from Back to Godhead and put in a book form. So the lecture comes from a lecture he gave in London, and the commentaries come from Back to Godhead. And that was put together in a book. And that's today Sri Isopanishad. That about the history, how this came about. Now in the introduction there, Srila Prabhupada starts speaking about what are the Vedas. What are the Vedas? And he speaks about the Vedas are free from 4 defects: cheating propensity, illusion, mistake, and limited senses. He speaks about Mahatma Gandhi, who made many mistakes. He said that an assistant warned Mahatma Gandhi, don't go to the New Delhi meetings. I have some friends and I've heard there is danger, but he did not hear. Another defect that we have is we are all in illusion. We are in Maya. Well, a devotee said to Prabhupada, by your mercy, we are now of the path of liberation. Otherwise, we would have been in Maya, he said to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada replied, you are always in Maya. So that is our situation. We are always in Maya. Unless we think of Krishna, we are in Maya. The third defect is the cheating propensity. So the problem is we don't even know who we are. We don't know our own position. One cannot write books on philosophy when one is defective. It's cheating, Prabhupada says. And our senses are imperfect. People say, can you show me God? But they don't consider, do we have the eyes to see God? Are we qualified to be God? So yes, now that the Vedas you may call the Vedas Hindu, he says, but Hindu is a foreign name. So Hindu, that was a name given by the Muslims, who said those who are they were referring to those who were living at the other side of the Indus River, the Hindus. But Prabhupada says our real identification is Varnashram. We are followers of Varnashram. And that is described in the Vedas. And Prabhupada then speaks about the Vedas. I will share with you first. So, the Prasthana Traya in Vedanta. You have the Shruti, the Smriti, and the Nyaya. The Shruti is Aparuseya. That's the term we have already heard before. Aparuseya means not from human origin. And this refers to the Vedas. The Vedas, we know, they were given by the Supreme Lord to Brahma through the heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adekavayi, said in the Bhagavatam. They were revealed to the heart. But these Vedas have 4 constituents or parts. The first is a Samhita. This is the text. So you have the you have the 4 Vedas, the Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Sama Veda, and the Yajurveda. 4 Vedas. And each of these 4 Vedas is Shruti, but the original text is called the Samhita. And Brahmins used to pronounce this Vedas, but the power of the hymns would depend on the proper pronunciation of the Veda, of the text, the Samhita. So how to properly pronounce this Samhita? Therefore, there was for each Veda it's called Brahmanas. Brahmanas has nothing to do with Brahmins. Brahmanas here refers to the commentary on the Samhita, explications how to pronounce this Samhita. And this, for each of these Vedas, there were Yajnas, fire sacrifices, big sacrifices they organized for each of these Vedas with many Brahmins, 4 Brahmins and a Brahma who was overseeing the other priests, that 4 priests and a Brahma priest who was overseeing. But how to conduct these Yajnas, that is explained in the 3rd part of each Veda. It's called the Aranyaka. Aranya means forest, because these sacrifices were performed in the forest. Because if something would go wrong, it could burn, the whole thing could burn down. And in these Aranyakas, it is described which spoon to use, the ladle, and the mantras to be said, and all the whole procedure of the Yajna is explained there. And then the 4th part of the Vedas, for each Samhita, is the Upanishads. Now we come to the Upanishads. That's the knowledge which is which is supporting this Samhita of the Vedas. But each of the Vedas had many Samhitas, many Upanishads. So there are 4 Vedas, the Rig, the Atharva, the Yajur, and the Sama. But if we look at the Yajur Veda, that has different Upanishads, and one of the Upanishads explaining the Yajur Veda is Sri Ishopanishad, which we are discussing today. So that's an Upanishad related to the Yajur Veda. So that is the Shruti, and it's Apuraseya, it's not from human origin. But then you have the Smriti. These are the commentaries by the self-realized sages, which we find in the Puranas. There are 18 main Puranas, and the highest Purana is the Bhagavad Purana of Srimad Bhagavatam. Itihasas, like the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Pancharatnas, how the Narada Pancharatna, that explains how to perform deity worship in all these aspects. The Dharma Shastra, the guidelines for human beings, which were explained by the Manus. So yes, these are Smriti texts interpreting the Shruti text, is here mentioned. And then you have the Nyaya, the Vedanta Sutra, the logic that written by Srila Vyasadeva, the Brahma Sutras, and the commentary of it's the Vedanta. The sutras are aphorism, very cryptic. You need a commentary to understand it. Atato Brahma Jignas. Now you have the human form, and you should inquire about the absolute truth. Ham Brahmasma, we are spiritual, a spirit soul. Janmayasya, the absolute truth, means the cause of everything. And so there are different sutras and they need explication, commentaries. So every recognized tradition in India has a commentary on Vedanta. And we have the Bhagavatam is the original commentary on Vedanta. Because the first aphorism of the Vedanta is Janmadhyasya, and the first verse of the Bhagavatam is Janmadhyasya yatom vayatitayatessa dissa bihas karat tenebramaridaya adka vemriant yatsoya. So that's a commentary. It defines immediately the absolute truth as the cause of everything. Yes, these are the 4 Vedas. The Rig Veda. I took this for my course at university on Vedas and Upanishads. The Rig Veda, 1028 hymns, in total 10,000 verses arranged in 10 books. So you are busy with for some time if you want to read that. Contains hymns to different deities, philosophical hymns. And the Samaveda is an apology to the Rig Veda. The Veda will only be used in Soma sacrifices. It is said that when Garuda, the carrier of Vishnu, moves his wings makes the sound of the Samaveda. It's very beautiful. I heard it once. It's very beautiful. And then you have the Yajurveda, that are sacrificial formulas mainly written in prose. The formulas are recited during the sacrifice. See Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 12th canto you have the story of Yajnavalkya who wanted new mantras. There this history of the Shisa Upanishad is mentioned. And then we have the Atharva Veda, domestic and philosophical hymns. Yeah. Okay, what does it mean for us? We are studying at the Shisa Upanishad. We have the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita we can say is Vedic. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the Vaishnava theology. And Chaitanya Charitamrita and Nectar of Devotion is the Gauda Vaishnava Siddhanta, the conclusion of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we studying this normally in this sequence. So these four books that we are studying in the Bhakti Shastri, they are sufficient. It describes the sadhya and the sadhana. Sadhya is the goal. Our goal is to develop love for Krishna. And sadhana is the way how to achieve that. And that is established, the basis of this sadhana, the philosophical basis is established through Bhagavad Gita and Shisa Upanishad. But how to come to that point in practice, the practical aspect of the sadhya and sadhana is explained in Nectar of Devotion and Nectar of Instruction. So by the study of these 4 books, we can attain perfection. 4 books are enough. These are the 4 defects: cheating propensity, illusion, mistake, limited senses. So about the Vedas, Srila Prabhupada writes also, the Vedas are axiomatic truth. There cannot be any mistake. And he gives an example also in lectures that the Vedas say that the stool of an animal is impure, but it says that the stool of a cow is pure. So Prabhupada writes, if you smear cow dung in an impure place, that place becomes pure. With our ordinary sense we can argue this is contradictory. Actually, it is contradictory from the ordinary point of view, but it's not false. In fact, in Calcutta, a very prominent scientist and doctor analyzed cow dung and found that it contains all antiseptic property. So, at least in the time of Prabhupada, when someone said in India, it's a Vedic injunction, then it means you should accept it without argument. Of course, we are many years later now. So yes, these 4 defects. Now the term Veda. The term Veda can be understood on different levels. Restrictive, average, of expansive understanding. If restrictive, we say it's the 4 Vedas, it's the Samhita of the 4 Vedas. That's it. Average understanding, it's the Vedic literature, all the Vedic literature. An expansive level, Veda comes from Vid, means to understand. So it relates to knowledge, wisdom, so all knowledge. That's another way. That's also scholars, they are still disagreeing about what is meant with the Vedas. Different understandings. So in the introduction, now we come to the introduction. This is an overview of the introduction. As we have 4 defects, we need the Vedas. That's the first 5 paragraphs. We discussed that already. The Vedas give universal and axiomatic wisdom. Now, Vedic knowledge is superior to Pradyaksha and Anuman. So, Pradyaksha and Anuman. So we have many, Pratyaksha means sense perception. Anuman means by thinking, by logic, coming to a conclusion. But we are dealing here with transcendental knowledge. And it cannot be understood, transcendental knowledge, by Pratyaksha and Anuman. Pratyaksha, because the Vedas deal with what's beyond our sense perception. And Anuman, it cannot be understood by logic, because it's translogical. It's beyond the mundane logic. It's not illogical, it's translogical. We will discuss that also in this course, this concept that Vedas are translogical. But does that mean that Pratyaksha and Anuman has no use in spiritual philosophy? Yes, it has use when it when the philosophy agrees with Pratyaksha and Hanuman. But for certain aspects, the translogical one, it will disagree. So that's beyond logic. I remember someone asked Bhakti Charumat, can Krishna make Govardhan so heavy that he cannot lift it? And my Guru Maharaj said, yes, he can do it. And still he will lift it. So that is beyond our understanding. And then, because the Vedas and Krishna is the only way to know about the transcendental realm. So we can only know Krishna through Sabda Brahman. Sabda Brahman means transcendental sound vibration. And so all the Vedic texts, especially Bhagavad Gita, She is Upanishad, and they are Sabda Brahman. Also the Bhagavad Purana, the Srimad Bhagavatam, every verse is Sabda Brahman, transcendental sound vibration. That's Sabda Brahman. Another name we used before is Shruti, spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Smriti are commentaries. So like the Mahabharata, the Itihasa, is written by sages. It's not apaurisaya, but within the Mahabharata, we have in the Bhishma Parva, there we have, Bhagavad Gita spoken. Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita, and that is Shruti, within the Smriti. That is spoken by Krishna. Because transcendental knowledge comes from beyond this universe. It comes from the spiritual sky. So yes, therefore, we must receive it to the Guru Parampara from the transcendental source without any change. So like Bhagavad Gita comes directly from Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said, I've presented it as it is, without any change, as it is speaking without interpretation. So that is Vedic knowledge, because Vedic knowledge is pure. So there are two paths, the Aroha Panta and the Avaroha Panta. The Aroha Panta, to get knowledge, is the ascending path. We are trying to understand it by our own power, by our own knowledge, and like that go up. But with that ascending path, you cannot arrive to understanding anything transcendental. The transcendental knowledge must come from the Avaroha Panta, must descend from the spiritual world. Kodoka Premera Dana Harinam Sankirtan comes from Kodoka. The Hare Krishna mantra finds its origin, which is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, in Goloka Vrindavan. The gopis were chanting, doing kirtan, chanting Krishna's name when Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance. And Krishna was forced to appear again. And it was Lord Chaitanya who brought it to us from Goloka Vrindavan. In the same way, all the Vedas, they are coming from the spiritual realm. But we cannot understand the transcendental realm by our intelligence, by our material intelligence. It's not possible. Because the brain is material. If something material, you cannot understand something transcendental. With your brain, with the subtle body, with the intelligence, you can understand the Pradyaksha, Hanuman, and so on. But the transcendental realm, how do we understand it? Krishna says, Bhakti amam abhijanti avnyasasmi tattva tatumam tattvato gatva vishatet anantram. I can only be understood by Ananya Bhakti, pure devotional service. And then Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satyuknam bhajtampi devokam tadami buddhyontam yena mamupayanti te. That if you serve me with little love, Krishna says, then dadami, I give you that buddhi yoga, transcendental intelligence. How does he give that? Krishna gives that, not to the brain. He says, Tesham evanakampatam amabhyana chamtama nasachamatma bhavastugyana tipanabhashvata. He says, from within the heart, or from within the heart, with the jnana dipana, with the touch of knowledge, I burn away all the impurities, all the ignorance. So ignorance is removed from the soul, and then through the soul we get the understanding that knowledge is revealed through the heart, where the soul is. Also Brahma receive it in the same way. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adakavaye, the first poet, the first human being, the first being, not human being, the first being, Adakavaye. Tene Brahma Hridaya to the heart. He realized it to the heart. Krishna gave it to the heart. This is the same as Tesham Satayukta. Our process is not different. But of course, we want to receive that knowledge. Krishna says, Prete Bhuvakam, a little love. But even that little love we don't have. But Krishna has made arrangement. If we accept the spiritual master and following his instructions nicely by performing sadhana bhakti, hearing and chanting about the Supreme Lord, according to the order of the spiritual master, and we serve nicely, Krishna accepts that as a little love, pleasing the spiritual master. Pleasing the spiritual master is pleasing Krishna. The same. So yes, so Srila Prabhupada speaks about the history of the Vedas, how that it was divided into four, that Vyasadeva, he saw people in this age were short memory, so people could not remember anymore, so he divided the Vedas among different disciples. He divided in four, but of course he was thinking, yes, most in Kali Yuga, most will be Sudras, they will not be able to understand the Vedas. So he wrote the Mahabharata and so on, because in this age there are no qualified Brahmins, all Dvija Bandhus, born in a high family but not qualified. That yes. Anyway, that so Krishna is the ultimate goal of the Vedas. That's important, and that's also the purpose of this Upanishad. Of course, Krishna says, Vedasa sarva amiva vedya vedantket vidavite vacham. Krishna says, I'm to be known by the Vedas. I'm the compiler of the Vedas. I'm the knower of the Vedas. So he's the goal of the Vedas. That and so yes. Therefore, this is explained in all Vaishnava commentaries and in the Vedanta philosophy. That then Prabhupada speaks about every tradition has his commentary on the Vedanta philosophy. Of course, we have the Bhagavatam. That's a natural commentary on the Vedanta, but written by the same author, Srila Vyasadeva. But other traditions would not accept it. And once, a few centuries ago, in Jaipur, the Vaishnavas would be excluded from the worship of Govindaji because they had no commentary on Vedanta. But then Baladev Vidyabhushan was sent to Jaipur, and he would to solve the problem. And the whole night he was with the deity of Govindaji and praying to Govindaji, and Govindaji dictated him a commentary on the Vedanta. So it was spoken by Govinda. Therefore, this commentary was later put into a book and was called Govinda Bhashya. It was spoken by Govinda. That so, by the mercy of Baladev Vidyabhushan, then the Vaishnavas could resume their worship for Govindaji. That and Srila Prabhupada makes also point in this introduction, yes. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the first words of the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Asya Jataha. And that Janmati Asya is fully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first verse. We know that first verse, that Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati in Dhaka was 40 days. 40 days he was lecturing every day on this verse. That was quite just on this verse. Yes. So then there are also, of course, we know the 6 systems of philosophy. They are in nature atheistic. Nyaya and Vaisheshika. Nyaya is logic, and Vaisheshika is the atomic theory, that everything is built up of atoms. That so they are supporting each other, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, and also Sankhya and Yoga. Sankhya is searching for the root of everything. That and yoga is the experience of that root. That's the idea. Sankhya makes it very clear we are spirit souls. Of course, the Sankhya from Kapila here is an atheistic Kapila. It's the original Sankhya philosophy we find in the Bhagavatam by Kapila Dev. And then you have Purna Mimamsa. This is the Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And Dharma, religiosity, Artha, how to get wealth. First you are religious, then you get wealth, and with that you can calm, fulfill your material desires, and at the end attain moksha. That's the idea, liberation. But real liberation is realizing one's Swarup, that one is a servant of Krishna. That then only the liberation is permanent. So this karma kanda is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But for this there is a need of philosophy. That this purna mimamsa, karma mimamsa, it's mistakenly put forward that karma is supreme. You do your work and you will get your reactions. And Krishna uses that in Krishna book to convince his father not to perform the Indra Jagya, but to worship Govardhan instead. He says, this Indra, we don't need him. That if you have done good work, then Indra must give the good reaction. That yes, Mother Rukmini.
Maharaj, thank you so much for taking this topic. I always wanted to know that what is the internal reason why Krishna in the Govardhan Leela he was making his father Nand Maharaj understand about the Karma Mimamsa philosophy there. What is the internal reason, Maharaj? If you can please help me understand.
Well, Krishna wanted just to convince his father, with in whatever way, that he didn't explain that he was the Supreme Lord, and no, he played the role of a human being, and he used it to convince his father. That's all. Then his father, of course, became convinced, and all the Vrajavadis wanted to please Krishna because they love Krishna. So that is karma mimamsa. Karma is supreme, but we know Krishna is supreme. He controls Maya Dakshana Prakriti, but he's not going to disturb the love of the Vrajavasis by explaining that, because that will lower their love. No. So he used karma mimamsa. But of course, the uttara or the uttam mimamsa is the Bhakti Vedanta. Is the Vedanta, but finally, the highest Vedanta is the Bhakti Vedanta. So interesting. These 6 darshans finally they bring us to a higher and higher realm, and finally to Bhakti. That is what Srila Prabhupada one night in Vrindavan confidentially spoke to Bhakti Charumaraj. He explained how this leads to Bhakti, all this, because Nyaya and Vaisheshika is preliminary knowledge and logic, but then to go deeper is yoga. What is our source? Okay, we are a spirit soul. To experience that, you perform yoga. And then finally it comes to the highest yoga, which is Bhakti Vedanta. Yes, Mother Anandita Janavi, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. Thank you for the very detailed description of Prabhupada's writings. Maharaj, I want to understand I want a little more elaboration on Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, and Yoga. And you explained Karma Mimamsa very nicely. So, how Uttam, Brahma Mimamsa is different from that?
Yeah, the Uttam Brahma Mimamsa is Vedanta. We have spoke about the Vedanta Sutras, the Brahma Sutras, but the highest Vedanta, Veda Anta means end of knowledge, is Bhakti Vedanta. That's the highest. And that is the process of devotional service. And that is what factually this Uttara Mimamsa is about. It's about devotional service. That so that is the Uttama Mimamsa. It means how to act. That's the Purna Mimamsa is acting piously on the Karma Kanda level. But that's not bringing us to the spiritual platform. One must then, when one is purified, at a certain moment, one wants to know, who am I? And surely, by the mercy of a pure devotee, one comes to the Uttara Mimamsa, the Vedanta. And of course, when we speak about Vedanta, that we know in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's Vedantas tattvavitas tattvam jnanam advyam. Yeah. Prameti paramatmeti brahmaniti sapyate. The absolute truth has 3 levels. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So Vedanta you have also on these levels. But the absolute truth is fully realized in the Bhagavan aspects. Therefore, then only in the Bhagavan aspect you can know who Krishna is. So that is the highest Vedanta, the Bhakti Vedanta, which is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. That yes.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. So, how to understand Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya? Is you just explained that it's a progression from lower to top, lower to better, So, you said Sankhya is like the 24 elements which Lord Kapila explains in 3rd canto. Is it the same? But this is a different Kapila, right?
Yeah, so this Nyaya, Vaisheshika and this Sankhya Yoga, they are twins. Like Nyaya is logic, and this logic is used in this Vaisheshika, this atomic energy, this atomic theory, that everything is consisting about atoms. It's going together. It supports each other. And Sankhya and Yoga also. Sankhya is the philosophy, Yoga is the practice. It's like religion and philosophy. Sankhya explains us the source, where we come from. That, of course, the real Sankhya is in the Bhagavatam by the real Kapila Dev. That, and we know Sankhya, Srila Prabhupada explains, also Lord Krishna explains in the 5th canto, 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, that Sankhya and Yoga are non-different, he says. Sankhya means searching the root of existence, and that's Sankhya Yoga. And Yoga means watering the root. Of course, Bhakti Yoga is the highest. We are watering the root. That's the difference. So they are going together. Also, Vaisheshika uses Nyaya to logic to establish itself as a theory. That so Purna and Uttama Mimamsa is also a relation. The Karma Mimamsa Karmakanda explains how to act piously. That's first required. And then the Bhaktivedanta explains how to act for the pleasure of Krishna, transcendental. There is also related. So there are some relationships. Of course, the most of these all 6 darshans are atheistic. Of course, not a Bhaktivedanta, but it's atheistically explained. That means the Uttama Mimamsa is explained on the level of Brahman, but it should be explained on the level of Bhagavan, which includes Brahman. Anyway, it's a big topic and a big study. At the university I studied these 6 darshans. I forgot most of it, but there are so many commentaries. But if you want to know more about it,
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
then
So Maharaj, this Uttam Brahma Mimamsa ideally doesn't include Bhakti Vedanta. But we, the Vaishnavas, because we know the highest goal of our life and Bhagwan is the ultimate realization of God. So we understand this Uttam Brahma Mimamsa in the sense of Bhakti Vedanta, right?
right, that's right. Yes.
Thank you for explaining. So, Maharaj, I had doubts in earlier slides also. I thought that you will be taking questions at the end, so I didn't ask.
Yeah, we will go back. But first, the last word on this. If you want to understand this 6 darshans in a proper way, then you read chapter 87 of the 10th canto. And the Vedas personified explain these 6 darshans and how to defeat the misconceptions within them. And Prabhupada comments also in Krishna book, chapter 87, everything is there. There you can understand them in a proper way. Yes. Any more questions? So, and on previous slides, you please ask. Then
I forgot. It was in the beginning. There was a term that it's apology of the Vedas. I cannot recall right now, but it was in the beginning slides.
Yeah, we show the slides again. No problem. Pastanasta, yeah.
No, not in this. Yeah, this one. The Samved part.
Which part?
The previous one. Samved. The 4 Vedas. You have just shown the 4 Vedas.
Yeah.
Not this. The next slide. Yeah. The Samved, it's written is an apology to the Rig Veda. This Veda will only be used in Som sacrifice. So what does this term mean? Is an apology to the Rig Veda.
Yeah, apology means, yeah, I forgot the,
No problem.
Yeah, just a moment. It's good that you asked this. Yeah, it's a matter offered in explanation or defense. So it's establishing the truth of the Rig Veda in defense. That is what it means, apology. Okay. Good. I propose we...
Thank you.
we have a pause for 10 minutes now, that because it's 4 p.m. here in Belgium, that it's still the afternoon, but in Delhi it's 8:32. So we will resume at 8:40 p.m. for the next section, which is the invocation of the Upanishad. Thank you.